Okay, so we all know how to start off our body paragraphs. Now we're going to talk about exactly what you're going to write in the body paragraphs. So nobody's going to jump straight into the document. You're going to have an intro sentence in each body paragraph telling me what the group is, and then you're going to jump into your docs. So the next sentences in the body are going to be using the documents to prove your argument. So you're going to be making an argument according to whatever your grouping is. So for the first one, your argument is that women can participate in the economy in Tang, and in Song they cannot. So you need to show me that in these documents, that women are participating in Tang economy, whereas in Song they are not. And then you also need to include their point of view, why they have the view that they do. Okay? That's more than just saying because of Confucianism. You need to expand upon that and tell me why Confucianism restricts women's rights and why Buddhism allows for more equality. So what are the answers to that? Why does Confucianism restrict women's rights and why does Buddhism allow for more equality? Ooh, cricket, cricket. Nobody knows? In Buddhism, can women practice the Four Noble Truths?
Yes.
Yes. Can women follow the Eightfold Path?
Yes.
Can women meditate?
Yes.
Okay, so in Buddhism, women are allowed to equally practice the religion. That's why women have more rights, is the fact that they can practice the philosophy, the belief system. In Confucianism, what's the main mindset behind Confucianism? What do they focus on a lot? Lance?
The father figure.
Okay, the father figure. Alex, what were you going to say? Family, relationships, hierarchy, roles in society. So the fact that they focus a lot on hierarchy and relationships, and the men have the higher position in those relationships, that's why Confucianism restricts women's rights a little bit more. Okay? So in your essay, you would be talking about that somewhere. The first time you talk about because of Buddhism, you need to then follow up with a sentence saying, Buddhism, women are allowed to freely practice the philosophy of Buddhism. They can follow the Four Noble Truths as well as the men. That's why they have more rights. Then any other time you want to talk about Buddhism, you can just say because of Buddhism, and then you're set. Okay? Same thing with Confucianism. The first time you say because of Confucianism, that's why they're restricted, you need to say Confucianism focuses on relationships and hierarchy, giving men more power or higher social status or something like that. Once you say that once, then any other time you talk about Confucianism, you can just say because of Confucianism. Any questions about that? No? Are we zoning because you're afraid to talk because of the video?
No.
No, we're
I
all
feel like
awake.
I'm being watched right now. Like,
Nobody's watching you,
Nobody's
Billy.
gonna
They're
watch.
watching
Nobody's
me.
gonna
No,
watch
this is just like
Like 6
completely.
people watch.
No, it's like completely different. Like,
Yeah.
mindset. Yeah.
So I just need to stick the video in first period and not video
Yeah.
to you all. You can't handle it.
No, I can handle it. I can handle it.
All right.
No. Don't listen.
Okay. So let's talk about this in relation to our actual rubric, because a lot of you kids got tripped up on this last time, and I want to make sure that we're all okay.
Yeah.
First off, thesis statement. As soon as you have a thesis, you get a point that's valid. Make sure you either use my thesis statement and you memorize it, or you have one that you know is going to be okay. Either you ask me or you just feel like a beast and you're good. Okay? So, thesis. Next, understands the basic meaning of the documents. If in your body paragraphs all you say is stuff like, document 2 shows noble women playing polo. That's great. Okay, so you understand the document, but you're not proving anything. What does that document prove about women in Tang China? Billy?
That they can participate in sports.
Okay, so you need to follow it up with saying something about like proving or showing that women in Tang China are able to participate in the community, they can play sports, they're actively involved. Do you see how you're not just telling me what the document says, but you're making an argument with it? So if you say, for example, like document 4, that's the one where they're in the telephone booth chair things, yeah? Okay? If you just say, in document, or women are restricted from society, they are carried around in these chairs, you know, you need to expand upon this, showing that women in Song China are not allowed to be involved in the marketplace, they are, what?
I just said if I was being carried around, I wouldn't.
Okay, we had this argument on Friday. You missed that.
Skipper.
Yeah, you can talk to somebody later about the argument, okay? These gentlemen over here agree with you, Perryman. The ladies will eat your face off if you argue with them. So, just be aware. Anyway, so do you guys understand the difference between just understanding and then using them as evidence? Do you see the difference there? Yes? Any questions about this, guys? I want to make sure we all kick butt on our essays. Then you're going to follow up with the point of view. The point of view. The point of view is the Buddhism, Confucianism stuff. Okay? And you're making sure that you're explaining that in depth. You're grouping. Hopefully you've grouped them at the beginning of each paragraph, right, with your docs in parentheses. And then your additional document. Let's talk about this. First off, your add doc, as I said here, your add doc can go at the end of each body paragraph. Listen to me, child.
I am.
Okay. So your add doc can go at the end of each body paragraph that it relates to. What are some valid additional documents?
Ooh.
Billy?
Oh, I never written it down.
Brady?
I was about to
A woman in Tang, China.
That's
Okay.
what I was gonna say.
Woman in Tang, China. What is a woman in Tang, China going to prove? Jamie?
That they had equal rights.
Okay, that not equal rights, but they had more rights. Alex?
That Buddhism gave them more rights.
Okay, that Buddhism is going to help give them more rights. So you guys need to make sure that you don't just say another voice or another document would be from a woman in Tang, China. The end. Or that you just say, so I can hear her perspective. That is like my least favorite thing you could say. All right? The worst possible option would be you saying, I need another document from a woman to hear her perspective. The end. You're not telling me which society. What? Yes, I know. A lot of you would say that. I saw it on your last DBQ. You're not telling me what society she's from. You're not telling me what it's proving. Okay, you need to pick. Is she from Tang? Is she from Song? What is this woman going to prove about your argument? So if you pick this woman from Tang, China, showing that she has more rights, you could throw her into the body paragraph. That sounds funny, throwing this woman from Tang, China. But you can put this additional document into the body paragraphs that talk about women being an important part of the community. Just put it at the bottom of that body paragraph. All right? Now make sure you guys can come up with 2 additional documents. So if you mess up on one, you've covered your butt. All right? And if you get both, you get bonus points. This is how you earn your extra credit, by having multiple additional documents. Yes?
Wait, so where did you say to put the?
Just in the body paragraph that it relates to.
Yeah.
So if you're saying a woman from Tang, China giving women more rights, put it in your body paragraph where you talk about women having more rights.
So don't just like.
Brady?
So for the additional docs, could we do one from a woman from Tang, China, and then one from a woman in Song, China?
Yes, now here's the tricky part. We've already heard from a woman in Song, China. So what social class would the woman need to be? What? Oh, okay. You did say a poor woman in Song?
No woman in Tang.
Well, and then over in Tang, you could hear from a noble woman. Megan?
A foot-bounded woman in Song, China.
Yes, you could hear from a woman with her feet who are, what?
She always talks about footbound.
Well,
Or
Three field
field
systems?
systems.
Three field systems, anybody?
all right. But you guys could have,
Yeah,
no, we're not yelling about the 3 fields. That is over.
I will.
It is clear.
All right. So you guys can include a woman that has had her feet bound, and you can talk about how this is showing women are not able to participate in the economy or something like that. Any other questions or comments about the additional document? So you need to specifically pick a society. Tell me you need a quote from her because she's probably not going to be able to write. Okay? And then you need to tell me what this is going to prove for your argument. Everybody knows how to do this, yeah?
Yeah.
See,
Okay. Any questions or anything about how you write this? Tegan?
How would you just add in?
You could say another document from a woman in whatever would prove blah, 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 showing that women in this society, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. So, for example, your first body paragraph is talking about economics. If you put your foot-bound woman in there, you could say this is showing that women aren't able to participate in the economy because they can't even walk, blah, blah, blah. And then if you want one from like kids in the last class were talking about like having a peasant woman from Song China, because you already heard from the poet who's going to be more upper class. If you hear from a peasant woman, is she going to be completely different than the man, or what's the deal with peasants? What have we talked about? Like women and men that are peasants. Lena?
Oh, women might have less restriction because they're not looked upon.
Okay, so the peasant women are more equal to the peasant men. You remember how we've talked about that concept? They both have no rights equally because they're peasants. So you can talk about how the peasant woman is more equal to her husband than a noble woman in Song China who's being carried in the chair and foot binding and all of that kind of stuff. You could talk about that if you would like as well. Any other questions or comments about this? Courtney?
Okay, so if you're writing a quote from a person, does it have to be an actual person?
No, you just say, I need a quote from a peasant woman in Song China. You don't have to make up her name. You don't need to. It's just showing, guys, it's kind of like if we have a party for second period, all right? And we have a party for second period. It's over at Andrew's house, and Andrew invites all of you all of the students, okay? Whose voice are you not hearing at that party?
Yours.
Mine, right? So you would say, I need to hear from Miss Rebass and blah, 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 okay? And explain what this would add. Do you understand, Courtney? Yeah? All right, Sean, you can turn that off.